The music industry's dark underbelly is being exposed in ways we've never seen before. And at the center of it all is one of hip hop's biggest moguls, facing charges that could put him away for life. The ripple effects are touching everyone from Justin Bieber to Michael B. Jordan. You know what's fascinating about this case? The way it's forcing us to re examine years of what seemed like normal industry relationships through a completely different lens. Exactly. And when you look at the details emerging from the trial, it's staggering. We've got Cassie Ventura testifying about these weekly freak offs, an overdose at the Playboy Mansion, and patterns of control that apparently extended throughout the industry. What's particularly troubling is how these behaviors were normalized under the guise of celebrity lifestyle. And then there's this video from 2010 that's resurfaced, showing a 16-year-old Bieber looking visibly uncomfortable while being questioned by Combs. How does that footage hit differently now? Well, it's chilling when you consider the context. Here's Bieber, who was signed at just 14 years old, caught in this web of industry relationships. The path from Scooter Braun discovering him, to Usher signing him, to Combs being involved, it's all interconnected in ways that seem much more concerning now. The industry's reaction to all this has been pretty telling too, hasn't it? And what's fascinating is how Bieber's team handled it. They made this very careful statement acknowledging that while Justin wasn't among Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed. It's like they're trying to thread this needle between distancing themselves and not diminishing the experiences of actual victims. Speaking of reactions, I'm struck by how Bieber himself is processing this. Sources say he's completely shut down and is deeply disturbed by it all. Right, and that's particularly significant given their recent collaboration on the Love album just last year. Sources say he deeply regrets that now and wouldn't have done it if he'd known about these allegations. But here's what's really interesting. This whole situation is forcing the industry to confront its power dynamics in a way we haven't seen before. The legal implications are pretty massive too, aren't they? I mean, we're talking about serious charges, racketeering, sex trafficking, and that's what makes this case so unprecedented. These aren't just individual accusations, they're systematic charges that could reshape how the entire industry operates. When you have someone like Combs, who was essentially a gatekeeper in the industry, facing these kinds of allegations, it forces everyone to examine their own roles in relationships. The testimony from Cassie has been particularly revealing about those industry dynamics. You know what's fascinating about her testimony? The way it illuminates how personal and professional boundaries became completely blurred. She talked about Combs' jealousy over her supposed relationships with Michael B. Jordan and Kid Cudi, showing how his influence extended far beyond just their immediate relationship. And now we're seeing this domino effect throughout the industry, aren't we? Exactly, and it's not just about the immediate players anymore. This case is forcing a broader conversation about protection of young artists, about mentorship, about what constitutes appropriate industry relationships. When you look at how many careers Combs influenced, how many young artists came through his sphere of influence, it really makes you wonder about the long-term impact of these industry practices. Do you think this could lead to actual systemic change in how the industry operates? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If Combs is convicted, we're not just talking about one person going to prison. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how the music industry approaches power, mentorship, and accountability. The fact that someone of his stature could face life in prison is already sending shockwaves through the industry. It's forcing everyone to reassess what they might have witnessed or been part of over the years.